All right, everyone, I'm here with a very special guest today. I'm here with Kayla Elledge. How are you today, Kayla? Did I say your last name right? I didn't even ask.
Yes, surprisingly, I feel like some people butcher it, but you actually crushed it. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I met Kayla briefly in LA a few weeks ago. The whole day was
Woo woo.
complete madness. Um, but I wanted to have you on the podcast because I feel like we're similar in age. And you've been able to grow your social media a lot, and I think it's pretty inspiring. You also just recently, I think, moved away from home with your boyfriend, right?
Yeah, actually husband, which is people
Oh my
don't know. Yeah, right. It's kind of funny because he kind of likes to kind of stay behind the scenes and
God.
not really be, part of my social media, which I respect that. But yeah, I live in Charleston now. And we love it here.
That's awesome. So you're from South Carolina though, right?
Yeah, so I'm from South Carolina, originally from Greenville,
Okay.
which is where I was raised, and then went to Clemson. So really just popped around South Carolina a whole bunch.
That's
So
awesome.
lived just about everywhere in South Carolina. And we were thinking about going to Miami actually this year, but Charleston is just so special to me for a lot of reasons, which I'm sure we'll get into later, just for family reasons and things. And so we just decided to stay in South Carolina at least another year. And we're just soaking it up, the East Coast.
That's awesome. I've only been to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, which is pretty basic.
Oh my gosh, you have to come to Charleston's so different.
I've
Myrtle
heard
Beach,
amazing things.
we called Myrtle Beach like Dirty Myrtle. Like,
Yeah.
no offense, it's
Yeah.
great. Grew up going there,
Yeah.
but Charleston is like dreamy. Like, thank Nicholas Sparks. That's what
Yeah.
it always feels like here. Like every day I wake up, I'm like, am I living in a novel?
And they film Outer Banks there too now.
Yeah, it's so casual. Everywhere we go, we just see actors like from that show, and it's just casual now.
Yeah,
All the
I would
locals are
die on
just
the
like,
inside.
oh yeah, all the locals like will just go out and be like, oh, John B was at, this
Oh my
restaurant
God.
last night. Yeah.
I would die. I would die. See, I live so close to New York. I feel like we're always passing like famous people on the sidewalks and
Oh yeah.
but it's never anyone that that I like care about. Not
See,
to
and that's ironic. I think here it's just those are literally the only people we see. There's like, because it's not huge for filming or anything around here.
yeah. No, I just know that they film there because I love Outer Banks. And I was just
Me
listening to
too.
a few interviews with the people and they're talking about how it's so weird. They're like walking down the sidewalk and people are like, John B? Like, is that you?
Yeah, it's just casual, and it's just like the feel here. Everyone's kind of like low key and chill about it, so it's just weird. It's weird, but it's super cool just to be like, oh, he's having waffles at Waffle House right now down the street from me.
I definitely want to see Charleston. Like I said, I grew up going to Myrtle Beach. I actually had a roommate in college who's from Myrtle Beach, like born and raised. I didn't know.
Small world.
Yeah. I went to like one of those like resort like hotel things or whatever. So I didn't really explore Myrtle Beach. And then I like began talking to her and stuff when we lived together. And she was like, yeah, Myrtle Beach has a ghetto side. Like it's really
But it's also grow. I mean, like every place has that now,
Yeah.
right? So does Charleston. Like
yeah.
there's good parts and there's parts that are still growing. But I would definitely say most people that are coming to South Carolina, I would definitely say if you're out there listening to this, visit Charleston and visit Greenville, because both of those places are booming right now. Like I think they've made it in like the top 10 places to visit in the United
Really?
States. Yeah.
That is awesome. So this is kind of off topic, but I'm curious. What is your favorite place that you've traveled?
Favorite place. See,
Yeah.
this is crazy because I haven't traveled too often. Um, I recently just started traveling probably the last 2 years.
Uh-huh. Me too.
Yeah, it's like a newer thing for me. So I still have a lot of places I want to go. But from where I've been, which is going to sound crazy, people are like, you're crazy, but I freaking love Miami. I
I
love
liked
it.
it too. I went by myself though, so I need to go and do it with friends. Like I need to
Oh,
do
yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I really love it. I think just the sunshine, and I'm very like all I need is like the beach and
No.
working out.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's so many healthy restaurants. And I know that sounds basic because most people like Miami for partying though.
Yeah.
And I don't even party. So it's just funny, but I just love it. Like I just love the atmosphere. I feel like Barbie when I'm there. I can't
Yeah.
explain it. I just
No,
love it.
I did the same thing. I went by myself because I had a work trip. So I just extended for a few days. I just checked out gyms. I went to restaurants by myself. I sat on the beach. It was perfect.
Love it.
Anywhere you put me by the water, I'm fine.
Oh, same. That's what I've realized. I'm like, okay, just bring me as long as I travel somewhere further south or towards
Yeah.
warmth, I'm good. But as soon as I start going to like where it's a little colder, I'm a little weenie because I'm from South Carolina, so I really can't deal with cold weather at all. Like New York was hard for me this winter. I went and it's beautiful, but I was so cold the whole time.
Oh yeah. Have you ever been to Jersey?
No, I have not. I have a feeling I would not thrive.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. If you're ever gonna come, I wouldn't come now. Definitely not.
Okay.
During the
Noted.
summer, it's fun. I mean, we have like the whole Jersey Shore and like the beach
Yeah.
and all the bars down there and stuff. And it gets like this summer, it was like 90 every day.
See, I love that. I'm
Yeah.
about that. See, Charleston, how like what's the temperature there now in Jersey?
So it has actually been a really weird winter. It's normally this time of year, it's normally like low 20s, and we've had like one or two snowstorms. We've had nothing so far. So it's like 40 degrees now at 9 o'clock in the morning, but it'll warm up to like 55 today.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not normal, but I'm taking it.
I would take it. You're gonna hate me, but guess how warm it is here today? It's gonna be
Oh,
80,
oh
85.
my God, 85 degrees.
85. I'm literally gonna rearrange my entire schedule and go to the beach, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm dying to I'm going back to LA in like 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh God, I hope it's at least
So fun.
75 because I need to be in the sand. I can't.
Yeah. What are you doing there?
So I'm going, my cousin, she wanted to go somewhere for spring break and she saw that I was there and was like, oh, like you went without me. Like, I want to go so bad. So I was like, oh, let's go back. So I'm staying for a few days with her. We're going to see some family out there, going
Love
to
it.
like a Lakers game because they're playing the Knicks, ironically.
Oh wow.
I know. And then
I'm not a sports girl, but that's a big game, right?
yeah, well, it's like we're from like I like New York teams because I'm from
Yeah.
Jersey. So I don't know. I
How
feel like
perfect.
NBA games are fun. Lakers are good. They're not that great right now, but I don't know. I was like, I'll see LeBron, and they're playing my
Heck
team.
yeah.
It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
so fun. I love that for you. That's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, I'm excited. She's gonna go home, and I'm gonna stay and check out some more gyms and just do my thing.
I love that. I feel like me and you are so similar when it comes to that. Like
Yeah,
I'm down to travel by myself and just explore.
we're
Like
at the
all the
age where it's
gyms.
like not everyone's gonna be down to go with you or do the things you want to do. So just do it by yourself.
Exactly. And we have so much freedom. We're very blessed. I feel like with both of our
Yeah.
professions that it's like, okay, we might as well take advantage of it.
Yes, yes. For my full-time job, one of our partners is actually down in Greenville, and they keep saying like, "Oh, you got to come, like you got to schedule a visit or whatever." And I'm like, "Someone make it happen. I want
Okay,
to go down."
I'll make it happen. I'll host and I'll have a group of us can come because I know a few other
I
my
would
friends.
love that.
They've
Once
been
your
wanting to
schedule
come
is
too.
full,
So yeah, I'll host. I'll put together a little something, something.
that would be so much fun. How was your moving process? I saw you with all your boxes.
Yeah, it was great. So we're still living we have a few rental properties, but we actually like live just in an apartment. So the moving process isn't too difficult because we haven't accumulated. It's not like, like a 5-story house or anything.
Right.
But I loved it actually because I'm very OCD. So it's so satisfying for me to like completely go through everything and reorganize every
Yeah.
single thing I own in my drawers and fridge. So stressful, but in a good way, in a OCD soothing way.
That's awesome. I know it's probably nice to have your own space too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely got a bigger place. So like, it's just so nice to have, we can have our own offices and space to do our own things.
Yeah.
When we were just in like a tiny little 1-bedroom and it was like, okay, we've outgrown this.
So is like coaching and social media and stuff your full-time profession?
Yeah. So I would say the majority of my income is from, like my app, online coaching. I started in person a long time ago. And then as my platform, just kind of grew accidentally, I was like, wait, I think I could reach a lot more people this way. So I've really leaned into that, and it's been seriously such a gift and such a blessing, that I've been able to serve a lot of people through that from all over. So I do that. I also do some athletic modeling.
Nice.
Yeah, which is kind of like a side thing people don't realize, but I do that actually quite often. There's a few companies around here that I work with, and I just love it. I love it. It's just fun. And then, yeah, other than that, just social media, you know how it goes, and,
Yeah.
like brand deals, things like that.
So I want to ask you, how did you, because that's something that I've been trying to look into a little bit more. How did you get into athletic modeling? Because I feel like that's something like I've been trying to break into. I just don't know
Yeah.
where to start.
Oh, you would crush it. So I kind of stumbled in it. Honestly, it was kind of crazy that I got into that before I got into like fitness.
Okay.
Like before I was into fitness, I guess I should say, like serious.
Yeah.
But I had a friend that was growing his photography business, or videography, excuse me, business in Greenville. And he was just reach out to me and was like, hey, I need you for some shoots. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. But he's like, I'll give you free clothes. So the brands wouldn't even pay me. So probably for like, 3 years, no, not three, I would say probably 2 years, I did shoots like all the time, just in exchange for clothes and like free things.
Right.
And it was great. I did like water bottle shoots and cheesy little things. But then it kind of, as his business grew, he got more serious clients that, were willing to pay. And my experience kind of grew alongside that. And then it really just flourished into like, oh, I have a heck of a resume now. So I've done work with like Do You Even, and like just a ton of brands that I'm very grateful. It's just something I love to do.
Yeah, no, that is so awesome. Okay. That makes me feel better because I'm at the same place right now. I've been doing some like modeling on the side for one of my friends who has like a photography and videography business.
Yes.
And then that made me realize like, oh, this is a lot of fun. And I feel like I'm good at it. So I want to experience.
That's my advice to anybody who, I get a lot of DMs of girls asking like, how did you get into that? How did you get in that? And I really stumbled in it. But my advice is just to literally be willing to trade. Like at the beginning, offer them value and they'll offer you value back. And then you make those connections early on. And then when both of you grow, you can grow together. And then you have that person in your corner, and it's really cool now because it's like he's working with really big brands. I'm working with some decently big brands. And, we just kind of get to like network together and bring all of our people that we've met together. And just being willing to do things for free at first.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand, and I get I'm sure you got the same questions of people being like, oh, how did you grow this and grow that and blah, blah, blah. And I think a lot of people don't realize when you're starting off, before you build your credibility, you need to be willing to, offer yourself up for free, trade things without like actually exchanging money, because
100%.
you need to build your worth before you're able to charge X amount of dollars for your service,
Oh, 100%. And you can value yourself still like through doing that. But it's just like, okay, what can I offer that's not financial right now, and vice versa.
Yeah, no, I think that's helped me a lot. And then it's like you said, it's like you build relationships that way. And then you have somebody in your corner and they have somebody in their corner. And you can friends that way too.
Exactly. The relationship always comes first. That's what I've learned in life so far, is just value those relationships and pour into relationships and people. And then the finance part of it will always follow,
Yes. I think that we're also extremely blessed to be like the age that we are in the year that it is, because we're able to use our full potential, online. And then at the same time, like I've made so many friends, like you and I are talking because we connected online and found out going to the same place at the same time. And then it's like everyone's able to make friends that are truly similar to them, not just the people graphically plop down next to.
I was literally thinking about that yesterday, because I was like, how crazy that when I was like graduating high school, I remember everyone saying like, say bye to your friends. Like you just don't meet friends like this when you leave. I have met so many beautiful, amazing people, traveled places, all through social media. And I know there's like an ick side of it of like, yes, there's like the toxic part of it, but also there's a really beautiful part of it. And I've met so many great friends, and I'm like, those people were liars, because I have met more friends now since graduating high school than, when I was in it.
Me too. I feel the exact same way. Even like after leaving college too, I still have my college friends, but I've been going back to like traveling on our own and having that freedom. I've been able to actually like get myself there to meet so many of these people that I talk to online. And then it's like
Yes.
furthers the connection.
And I think it's just us being willing to put ourselves out there too. Like you and I both traveled by ourselves
Yeah.
across the freaking country to go to zoo culture because we knew we could meet our friends in real life, and that's important because we value that. So I think as long as you're willing to like take those extra steps and get uncomfy a little bit, I mean,
So worth it.
it's so worth it. You can meet so many people.
Yeah. So what did you think of the event? I was like, I loved it, but I was like, holy crap, what did I just show up to?
Yeah. When I first showed up, I was like, is this an 8th grade dance? It felt like it was like sweaty, smelled like BO and like nasty fart. But it was definitely worth it. Like it was so fun. For me, it was more of just like meeting everybody, like we were talking about. That was so rewarding, so fun, putting faces to name. But also, I think the actual event, I mean, you could tell like they weren't quite ready to be open.
No.
At all. No, I love them. Love Brad. Love everybody. But yeah, it definitely there were some signs it was not ready to be open.
Yeah.
But what was cool is that it did provide a space for us to go and meet, some other like-minded people, which was great. But the actual event was a little crazy. I definitely was like, I would have just postponed for like a month probably.
A few missing parts, like the back.
Yeah, organization was lacking. I feel like they needed an event planner. So, which is actually ironically what I went to college for. Why? Really? I don't know. So they should have hired me and I could have event planned that a little better. But yeah, I don't know. It was the event itself was like chaotic and unorganized. I felt bad for people outside that weren't able to get in, that literally waited outside all day. I felt bad for them. But I will say another huge thing I got from it is I don't think I'd ever been in a room with that many quote unquote famous people or like Instagram fame. I don't know how to say that without sounding cringy, but it really was great for me because I was just like, oh, it was like, even I, having a little bit of a following, like still will kind of idolize some people. So when you meet them in real life, you're like, oh,
oh yeah,
they're just a real human, everyone's just sitting, even Brad. I'm like, oh, so by the third day that I was there working out, I mean, I'd just be training by Brad like it was no big deal, which I really liked that aspect of being able to like kind of see it in person and realize, okay, everyone's just human. Their physique doesn't look that much better than mine,
It was a nice, like, I don't want to say like a grounding moment, but it kind of made me realize my potential where I was like, I came back home from the trip and was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm so similar to these people that I've idolized, kind of like, not to say I'm on Christian Guzman's level.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It just made me realize, like, after the conversations I have, that like I am not maximizing my potential. And like, it motivated me to do so.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a good point. I would say I left feeling more motivated than ever because like you said, it's like they are so deserving of their platforms. Yes. But it also reminded me of like a spark in me of like, oh, like I could do it too. This. Yeah, I can do this.
Yeah. I will say I went to the zoo culture opening. I've also been down to Alpha Elite at like the summer shredding event, and the energy at zoo culture and the vibe was so much better. And it was
okay. That's interesting because I'm literally going to Alpha Land next week. How ironic for the first time, but it's obviously not summer shred or anything.
Right.
But I'm going to go next week. So I will have to report back and let you know if I agree.
I went during the summer shredding event. So it was crazy packed. And so I literally was talking to Christian at Zoo Culture and he was like, come back, but don't come during summer shredding. And everyone there was more like, it was very ingenuine. Like people were just coming up to you and they're like, you're on social media? Like how many followers do you have? And like,
I hate that.
Like kind of everyone was also walking around. I think it was because it was like a competition weekend. Like, feel yourself getting judged by like everyone there.
Yep.
Everyone at culture was just having a good time. Like everyone was just bouncing off the walls. Like,
it was like a party. I mean, it was a party.
It was. people weren't like when I went to Alpha Lead, I was a little intimidated to talk to people just because I could feel them judging me. Whereas like I went to Zoo Culture and was like, is that Christian? I'm gonna go up to him.
I know he was just
myself.
like chilling in the corner.
Yeah.
Did you see him? He was like, I was like, holy crap. I had to do like a double take.
I saw him in a corner. So I was like, all right, let me go up to him.
Yeah, it was definitely less it wasn't intimidating, I would say, which the
really
environment. Yeah, it was the more like I could approach people and I didn't feel weird. I felt like we were equals. You know?
I went up to I showed up by myself. I went up to everybody and was just like, hey, what's up? I'm here by myself. Want to hang?
Love that. I love it. But yeah, I'll let you know about Alpha Land, what I think too. But it's not Summer Shred, so I'll come back and let you know. Like, okay.
I do want to go.
It's different.
I want to check out. So I went before Alpha Land was open. It's actually funny because I went with my friends and one of my friends, her bodybuilding coach is like really good friends with Christian. So they got to go in to the new Alpha Land before it was open. And like, I wasn't allowed in. Christian was like, oh, did you see Alpha Land when you went down? And I was like, no, I wasn't allowed in.
Oh my gosh. Hey, but you were closer than all of the rest of us. So
yeah. So I've only seen Alpha Elite Gym. So I do want to go back and check out Alpha Land because it seems like he's doing a really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited too. And I think the main difference is like Brad with Zoo Culture is like an influencer, right?
Yeah.
So like he's more of just like, I mean, he opened a gym, but he's an influencer that opened a gym. Where Christian is like a businessman.
Yeah, he's
so brilliant. He is brilliant
when it comes to sit down with him.
And like when everything he does is pristine.
Yeah.
And so both of them are great and what they've built is great, but they're different. So you can't really compare them, you know? So I'm excited to experience the Zoo Culture side of it. And a lot of my business, I feel like in Zoo Culture, like at Zoo, my like influencer side was flourishing. And I feel like I'm going to try to really soak in like all the business mindset when I go to Alpha Land. I just kind of take it in like he freaking built this from nothing.
Yeah. If it's a good time, let me know. I'm definitely looking to go back. And maybe we could take a trip one day. Cause I was talking to Christian, he's like, come back, but tell me when you're coming back. Like, don't come without telling me. And I was like, can we sit down for a half? Can you just like pour it out to me?
Yeah. BRB. I'm bringing my notebook.
Yeah, really. I'd record everything. He's so brilliant. I can't.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Of course, I was talking to him and I was like, I was stumbling over my words. I left the conversation and was like, why'd you open your mouth? Like, it was one of those where I was like so starstruck and trying to like play it cool that things were coming out of my mouth.
No, the first conversation I had with Brad, I was telling him a bit of like my testimony and how it relates to his a little bit. But afterwards, I was like, I blacked out. I have no idea. I literally I had no idea what I said. But I guess it went okay.
The whole thing. My friends were like, how was it? And I was like, good.
You're like, I didn't say, but
like, did you talk to people? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, you really do just kind of black out at first because you're like, is this real? I've waited for this a long time.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm very curious. You said you went to school for interior design. Was that when you were graduating college? Was that something that you were like, okay, like I'm gonna start doing this professionally now, or were you already at the spot where you were like, I'm just gonna train and that's taken off?
No. Okay. This is gonna have to have a little backstory, but I trained growing up. I trained very seriously in dance.
Okay.
I did competitive dancing, traveled. Literally was my plan. All my eggs were in one basket, to say the least. I was going to do that. I was going to go to LA, pursue commercial work. That was it. When it became time to graduate, my parents basically, gave me an ultimatum. They know it is very hard for a dancer to make it, but they were like, we will pay for you to go to university, which was such a blessing. Yes. So many people have debt. And I was like, wow, that's such an opportunity. Yeah. Or they were like, or you can go to LA, support yourself and try to, they would support my dreams, but like make it by yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was too scared. I was 18. I was like, I can't go across the country. I'm a little South Carolina girl. I have never left. Like, I'm terrified. So I went to college, not having an idea what I wanted to do. And looking back, I didn't need to go. But at the time, I guess I didn't need to go because I don't use my degree. It just hangs on the wall. But I will say I grew as a person there.
Yes.
So it wasn't until in college when I didn't have dance every single day of my life that I kind of transferred that love into fitness. I started running and then, slowly got into those little cheesy YouTube videos and then weightlifting, it was kind of a process. So me completely losing who I was really allowed me to find who I was meant to be, and find my purpose through fitness, which I'm so glad that happened. But yeah, so I didn't want to go to college, to be honest. It was more of just like, I felt silly of like, I felt selfish if I didn't take advantage of that because so many people would die to be in that position. So I was like, I'll go as if it was summer camp, and I wish now I'm like, God, I wish I would have known I loved fitness and nutrition so much because I would have loved to have gotten, like a degree in something like that instead of me having to get all of my certifications afterwards. But you know what? We live and we learn.
What is college without a few regrets?
That's what I'm saying.
I think you make a good point too, where it's like a lot of people these days, a lot of people younger than us just want everything to come and like, they're like, oh, I don't need this. I don't need that, blah, blah, blah. And I think you're a perfect example. It's like, no, you're not technically using your degree, but it was baby steps. That's your first time living out of the house. Meeting people when you go to college, it's like, I had a high school teacher tell me it's like the junior real world.
Yes, for sure. That's a perfect example.
Yeah,
you learn who you are, without your parents, so like, just because, unless you're like going for something very specific, right? Engineer, nurse, like absolutely. Right. But I know some people, I don't think you need college, but I do think that you can grow a lot through it when it comes to social aspects and, just maturity in general. Because I sure did. But if you're out there and you're going to college and you don't know what the heck you're going to do or what you're doing, or you're nervous because you don't, know what degree to pick, like, have some peace knowing that I didn't know I was going to pursue fitness until 2 years after college.
A lot of people are like that. My dad's like that. My dad went to school for economics. He was like majored in economics and minored in like Chinese or something. And then he ended up his whole career. He worked for the prosecutor's office in our county and was a computer crimes investigator and became like a lieutenant and like wrote a textbook on it and stuff. And he did not go to school for any of that. That was all post-grad education.
Oh my gosh. Also, he sounds like a genius.
He's all right. He'll probably listen, so I don't want to gas his ego up too much, but he's very hardworking.
I love that. No, that must be where you get it from.
Thank you. No, but it's so true though. A lot of people go to school, get a degree, and they end up doing nothing in their degree. And it's unless you're going for something, my mom's on the opposite side of the spectrum. She went to school to be a pharmacist. There's only one route you could take, be a pharmacist.
Exactly. Which is great. And I love that some people have their path just like picked and ready to go, but I didn't. And I was flailing around in college, freaking out. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I even here? What am I doing? Got an event planning. I literally chose that because I went to my counselor and was like, what is the easiest? How can I graduate? I literally was like, I need to graduate and get out of here ASAP. And so I ended up doing it. It was kind of interesting, but to be honest, I had way too much anxiety for event planning. I worked with a great company for about a year, and it was like I was an assistant producer for a fitness festival. And it was then that I realized, okay, I'd rather be on the stage, not with the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Coordinating it all. I want to be the one teaching the classes. And then from then on, I was like, I prayed about it and was like, I just felt really led to just quit, which was scary, but I quit.
Sometimes you have to. And you know what? I think that although you're not using your degree right now, I think that there's opportunity for you to use the knowledge you gained in that field in the future. I could totally see you like a few years from now, like running your own like meet and greet event.
Yes. You know what's crazy? Yeah, I've had a few in Greenville, my hometown, that have been
awesome.
So freaking fun. And I definitely use my expertise. It came into play.
You're not technically, you don't have a full-time job in that, but you're using it. It's like I have a marketing degree, so I use my marketing skills all the time when I'm on social media.
Exactly. Yeah, I minored in business too, so the business tips also help, and I'm definitely using those every day. So it's not a total waste or anything by any means, but I think people just need to know that. Just expect, more than likely you're going to use your degree in a different way than you think.
Yeah. And honestly, not to sound like a giant nerd, but it's cool to be a smart person, when you went to school and you're got
No,
a
for
degree, so you're
sure.
specialized in something, you're really knowledgeable about something. And it's like, it's just a very cool feeling.
Yeah, no, for sure. And being able to accomplish, like, just knowing that you accomplished something very difficult is, I feel like people kind of like bag on college now. And I'm all about, like, I don't think you necessarily need it. Not everyone needs it, but
It's not a
I
bad thing.
also I also don't think it should have such a bad rep if you're proud that you finished, like, that's amazing.
It is a very big accomplishment, especially going to a
Exactly.
school like Clemson. It's like, it's not an easy school to get into.
No, not at all. Not at all. And for me, especially because my dad passed, and he
Right.
actually passed two weeks before my college graduation.
Oh
And
my God.
honestly, the entire reason I went was to make him proud, because no one in our family had graduated from
Uh-huh.
a 4-year university. So when I see that degree, I see like so much more than a degree. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, this was for my dad, so it was worth it. And I do it 100 times over just for him.
yeah.
But
There's always a meaning. Like it takes a while to realize why you did something for a lot of different causes, but it'll always come into clarity.
always, everything always falls into place. I'm a big believer in that.
Me too. So I guess that I kind of want to segue then into, because you kind of hinted at it in the beginning, why Charleston? Like, what's the significance behind Charleston? Obviously, I mean, if I was in South Carolina, it's probably where I would move to too.
Yeah,
But what was
yeah.
the meaning behind it?
Yeah, so I grew up coming here with my family and my dad, and I'll mention him just because, to be honest, so much of my story revolves around him.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because of him. But we grew up coming here for vacations, and it was just like the best time of the year. We were just two peas in a pod. Like, my
Yeah.
best friend,
Oh,
we loved the ocean. Like, we loved it. I cannot explain it to you. Like, people that like the beach, and there's people that like feel it, in their bones. And
I
I'm definitely,
100% agree with you.
yeah, I'm one of those people. And some of our best memories were made here. And my dad actually spent his last days here.
Oh,
He was in a boating accident in 2018, and he lost his life suddenly. And
horrible.
my mom, my sister, and our world was just completely shook.
Uh-huh.
But with that said, I just feel so close to him here. And so I love to, I would always come back and just kind of like, hang out where we used to hang out. And I felt close to him. And I spoke to Keith and was like, I just feel like we should move there. And he was like, I agree. So that's kind of what ended up pushing us to choose Charleston over anywhere else. And it's just freaking beautiful and amazing and fun.
Great town to begin with.
Yeah, great town. I wouldn't need that much persuasion. But yeah, I just feel really close to him here.
Awesome.
And I just feel like God wanted me here. And so I just listened, and I feel like if I go where he leads, he always blesses me for it. And I've definitely kind of reaped the rewards, I feel like, for listening. So I love it. I love it. Love
Such a
living
full
here.
circle moment for you. Like, it's
Oh
just
my
such a
gosh, for sure.
like rainbow at the end of the storm.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't, I always tell people, like, I genuinely wouldn't be where I was if it didn't
No.
go through what I went through. So, God always makes beauty from ashes. And I've literally been in the rubble.
Yeah.
And I'm just on the other side. And people see when they first come to my page, like, oh, so fun, giddy, like bright neon colored, funky girl. And it's great. And I love that. And I want them to be like, what joy does she have?
Yeah.
Like, what does she have that I don't have? And I want them to see my joy. And I've realized, like, it's because I want them to also know that, like, okay, she's gone through it too. She's not just happy because nothing's happened to her. Like, she's had some pretty traumatic experiences happen. And I'm still able to have that joy. And it's honestly, every beautiful thing in my business, everything happened because of losing my dad. And I think that's crazy to be able to say, like, losing my best friend, there was good that came from it. But I promise
there
you,
has to be. Otherwise, you're going to be in the rubble forever.
Exactly.
Let yourself sit there.
Exactly. And it definitely, like, I've just experienced God grow my business and everything because of that, because I wouldn't have found fitness without that moment. Because I started running and getting super into fitness and heavy hitting it when, just to heal and to take my mind off of things. And then I found the healing power of fitness and was like, oh, I'm passionate about sharing this with other people. And from then on, I mean, I've just been doing what I do.
Yeah, no, I resonate with that, obviously in like a less severe way, but what got me into fitness was I was always active my whole life, just like you were, but when my parents were finalizing their divorce, like I was going through a tough time at school too, and it just fell into like a very deep depression, and the only thing that made me feel better was like I could get out of the house if I went to the gym. And the more I went, you're like, I feel really good after exercising and releasing all that bad energy.
100%. And I think it's just so much beauty in like the healing power of it, as opposed to approaching it with a toxic, like I'm working out because I hate myself, or I hate this about me or my legs or whatever. It's like, okay, no, I want people to realize like, no, you can work out because you love yourself and because it genuinely can heal you from the inside out.
I think it's also God willing, you're physically able to, it's very reliable. It's always going to be there. You might not always be able to go into a gym and start like weightlifting, but there's so many forms of exercise that it's always going to be there.
Oh my gosh, for sure. If you're able, like you said, like what a blessing and a gift, and almost silly not to take care of, our bodies and the temples that we have. I feel like it's our duty to take care of them.
100%. I love, because you hit the nail on the head. Your page is very bright and cheery. You're always on your stories, like just so excited to talk and like share whatever's on your mind. And I think that you serve as a really, really good example just of, hey, like whatever you're going through, I've probably been through it. Like I literally lost my best friend, but it does really get better if you want to make it better.
Yes. And see that's what I want. That's the goal. And I'm always genuine and real, and I let my people know if I'm having a bad day or whatever, but but my joy is genuine. Like people ask me all the time. I'm like, no, this is genuine. Like I can't explain it. I want everyone to have what I have. And it just took going through some things and realizing like, okay, happiness is so temporary, but joy is something that's like deep rooted that no one can take away from you. And I just want to share that with everybody. So I love bright colors. I literally was like, I don't know why I'm wearing neutrals all the time. I love bright colors. I love sunshine. I love being obnoxiously happy, so that's just kind of become my brand, like cotton candy Barbie.
Oh, I love it. I think you're like a real life Barbie. Like after being you in person too, seriously, I'm like, well, you also get to be in the sun most of the year. Right now I'm like brunette. I'm pale, so neon pink on me would make me look like a ghost. Thank you.
That's true. I'm tan year round, so I
have like the bleach blonde hair and you're tan and the neon colors. Like it would be a disservice if you wore gray and brown every day.
I'm glad you said that, because my whole closet is just a rainbow of gym clothes.
I love it. And it's when you pop up on my feed too, I'm like, oh, there she is. Like
I love it.
Your outfits are so cute. You have like the when I met you, I was like, I love your sneakers, because you had like the lime green pink sneakers.
Yes, I just got some new ones, girl. They're like similar, but they're like all colorful. I'm like, who am I? I love it.
I think it fits your personality and your own personal brand that you've built up.
Oh, for sure. I'm like, I'm running with this now because it makes me happy. It makes other people happy. Some people roast, people are going to roast. I don't care.
Everyone has things to say.
Always.
But the majority of them are nice.
Yes. And the ones that aren't are just like 40-year-old men that are just in their basement. Like, why are you singing at the gym? I'm like, this is obviously just a joke. I don't actually go to the gym and like sing Hannah Montana to everyone. This is just a real
like some people just need to laugh. It's like,
I know, you need to chill. The gym is not that serious.
I know. I'll post things on TikTok and stuff, and people will be like, why do you think you deserve that? And I'm like, oh my God, first of all, rude. Second, it's a joke. Like
people, it's a joke. You need to laugh. And the ones that get offended, I'm like, ooh, this hit close to home for you.
I'm
Maybe you
like,
should do some
did
self-investigating
I
because
strike a nerve?
yeah, I definitely touched a trigger point.
Yeah, I find that the nastiest people online are the ones that like are dads that have pictures of them and like their children as their profile
Yes.
picture. And I'm like, who if my
Or you'll
like
click on their profile, it'll be like love others with like a
yes,
heart emoji. I'm like, love
like
others. You just tore me
mom
to
to so and
pieces.
so. Yeah, like the Bible scripture in the bio. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I'm like, you are not being a light of God right now. You are hurting me.
exactly, exactly. And it's all part of it. Like I put myself out there, you put yourself out there. I'm sure you knew going into it. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
gotta
I love it.
those
I
people
am
matter.
yeah, and I intentionally now I make content knowing like today I'm
Oh,
gonna post a reel and I'm gonna have a zip patch on. Guarantee you people are gonna be like, "Man, you have a zip patch on, blah, blah, blah." Like
it's like,
just
why do you
dumb
think?
things.
Because I have a zit.
But I'm like, I know you're gonna start bickering in the comments and it's gonna boost my
Yeah,
engagement. So
exactly.
I'm gonna post it anyway.
Like I'm smarter. I've done the same thing too. I've got the little star
Yeah.
pimple patches. By the way, though, while I have you, I ran out of mine and they have not come back in stock. What brand do you use? Because I saw yours yesterday on your story.
Yeah. Okay, so those are I just got those from Target. I forget the brand. They're literally called like Starface, but
Okay.
those are the cuter ones. So I'll use those if I am just I have
I want
like
the cute ones. I don't want the one.
yeah, if I'm going in public, I'd rather just own it. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna have this sticker on my face, but like it's so obnoxious
I
that like
think they're
I know
cute.
it's on my face.
It's
But
so
I
funny.
also
I love it.
the Mighty Patch, like hero ones, I think those work the best though for
Okay.
nighttime.
Okay.
But I'm having skin issues. I'm trying to balance my
Me
gut and
too.
everything. Like my hormones, everything's been crazy since quitting birth control. So I'm on that whole journey too.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm not looking forward to that time. And I've heard that the getting off, like, because your hormones are just so out of whack that
Oh
the
my gosh.
after will hit you.
Well, it's been 2 years and I still don't have a
Oh,
period. Yeah. It's been a real issue because I went on it when I was little, like not little, but I mean 18 because
right. Same.
because they prescribed it like Tylenol because I
Oh
thought
yeah.
I was just like, oh,
You're
I'm
like going
having
to college?
acne.
Here you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're
it.
like,
You got a
oh,
bad period? Here you go.
yep. And they did not tell me that it literally was altering my hormones. So now it's been 2 years and I'm still trying to figure things out, but we're getting there slowly but surely.
That's unsettling. But that's also one of those things though that you'll look back and it's like when you have acne in high school. It's like this is never ending. I've tried everything. And then 5 years pass and you're like, oh, my skin's clear.
Finally. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
past
That's
it.
what I'm
So,
hoping for because I'm doing all the things.
yeah, yeah, I know. It's being a girl sometimes. I'm like, can we like evolve as a species where like acne doesn't happen anymore? Like we have
Right.
technology now. Like I don't need my
Well,
period.
yeah, that's what I'm
Going
saying.
away.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, we have all this technology, but y'all can't figure out how to make my skin clear. Like,
Right.
what on earth?
So I went through high school and I had pretty good skin and I felt very blessed. Like a lot of my friends struggled with like cystic acne and whatever. And I've had, the occasional like stress pimple or whatever.
Same. That was me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess I was unaware that your hormones like drastically change every like 5-ish years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the summer of 2020. I started getting like cystic acne and I didn't even know what it was. Like just acne like I've never seen before so frequently. And now I've been dealing with it like now for the past few years. And now I'm like, God, I wish I had it in high
Same.
school.
Same. But it's weird because it's like I never had it. So I'm like,
I
it
know.
has to be a hormone shift or
It,
something
it, it
because
is. It
and it's
that
not even bad. Like people, I need to do a disclaimer. I know some people have it way worse, and like I
right,
seem like
right.
such an annoying little petty girl, but
It
it
hurts.
does make you insecure and it
Yes.
hurts, and you it's just frustrating of being like, I like to control things. I'm a control freak, and why can't I control this? I'm doing
Yes,
everything. I'm
I am
eating
the
carrots.
same
I
way.
am,
I'm the
doing
same way.
all
I've
the
been on like antibiotics for it. It's cleared up for a little bit. It comes back, but I think I just need to wait it out. Wait.
yeah, I think so. And it's weird because there's a whole bunch of us. My friend Nikki,
Yeah.
she's been going through the trenches with acne. Like, I don't know what is in the air, but whatever it is bringing acne.
No, it makes me feel a little bit better though that other people like my age are going through it too, because I like when this first started happening to me, I was like, all right, well, everybody went through this in high school and now I'm the one
Yes.
pizza face.
Yep. Here I am, just a whole adult going through like high school skin issues is what I felt like. But you're not alone. We're all in it together. So I'm just learning to own it. Just put my stickers on.
And we got makeup, stickers, makeup, it's just, I feel like I post like, I mean, every time I post and I'm in the gym, I don't have makeup on unless I come from after work. So I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I got a pimple. You got a pimple. It happens.
Yeah, we all got pimples.
We got dry skin.
I'm getting to that point too. I think also because like thinking about my brand and what I want to be is like, I want to keep it real too. And like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm tired of hiding it. Like sometimes you're just going to see it. Okay. And you can comment on it and you can say something, but I don't really care because I'm human.
Yep. When I make a story on Instagram, I put a cute little filter on it. Everybody does
yes. Oh yeah. It's not like you want everyone to stare at your pimples, but like, I'm not hiding it. It tells you when we're using a filter.
I had a heart monitor on a few weeks ago and I was like, listen, I'm still gonna go gym, I'm still gonna post. This is right here on my chest. Just it is what it is.
Yeah, you got to keep it real. You got to.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, I took up so much of your morning. Thank you so much for meeting with me, but
I could talk to you all day.
No, I know. I just looked at the time and was like, I'll actually sit here and take up her whole day and then it'll be 8:00 at night. It'll be like, what'd you do with my day? Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or bring up while I have you on here?
Not specifically. I think this was a good little chit chat. It would just be for people just to remember, like we were saying, like if you're going through it right now, there's always, if you're in a valley, it's temporary. And if you didn't go through the valleys, you wouldn't appreciate the mountaintops. So just keep pushing and you can find joy through pain. It doesn't have to be one or the other. They can both exist at the same time.
I love that message. I talk a lot about mental health, like on my page and on this podcast a lot. And I think that you're just a really good example of like, hey, if you want to get yourself out of it, you can get yourself out of it. Like there has to be beauty in every situation. Otherwise, like it really is just going to suck.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. Been at the very bottom where I thought like this is for another podcast, but like did not want to see another day. And just to see where my life is now, it's like, wow, like if I can do it, just trust me, you can too. And it's, if you want advice, DM me because I will gladly help. I'm really passionate about having intentional conversations with people.
That's awesome. I'm glad that I was able to have you on. So at least like the people listening have another resource, because at the end of the day it's like, okay, we got a lot of followers on social media, but I'm just Liz and you're just Kayla and we're just
my gosh,
that have gone through things that people go through,
well yeah. And I don't, my thing every day is like, okay, God gave me this platform and these followers, and if I'm not using it to help people, what the heck is it for? I don't want it, I don't care about clout. I really don't. So we're just human beings.
I wanted you on. You're such a genuine ray of sunshine. And
thank you. The feeling is mutual. And I can't wait to get you here in the actual sunshine.
No, please. I was just going to say, I definitely want to see you again in person. And I would love for you to take me around your home. Get me
out. Charleston. Also, let's go to Miami. I love it. I'm there all the time because I just spontaneously go.
so down. I would love to go down there again and do it right with like a person.
Yep. Let's do it, girl. But
I am down. Do you want to tell everybody where they can follow you on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all that?
Yeah, so it's just my name on Instagram, Kayla Elledge. On TikTok, it is my name again, but there's an underscore between Kayla and Elledge. And then my YouTube channel, which is tiny but mighty. It is growing quickly. It's Kick It with K. And yeah, I've been trying to kind of roll out some long form content. So we're growing on that side of things, but I need people to tell me what to post. So
yes. Awesome. I will definitely subscribe to you on YouTube because I've seen little snippets and you're just like, I'm sure people have got the gist just by listening to this episode. Like you're just like fun to listen to. You're bubbly and it's like, it brings a good vibe.
Well, I try to bring the vibes, but thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thanks for coming on.
Of course, anytime.
All right, guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for this week's episode of Confessions of a Gym Rat. Next week, I will be in LA, so hopefully I will get this episode out on Monday when it is supposed to come out, but if I'm a little late, just bear with me. I'll be busy all weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. St. Patty's Day is coming up, so get yourself something cute. I've seen Amazon have a lot of cute stuff. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at liftswithliz. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Confessions of a Gym Rat. And subscribe on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this week's interview episode, and I'll talk to y'all next week.